Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and normally I have the company logo in the background, but well, I can't really find the InstaCart company logo on YouTube. So instead, I've decided to put another YouTuber, a fellow UberTuber, on screen. In fact, this is the Blessed Driver. I actually heard about Instacart through her videos, and so I kind of thought as a nice little tribute, I would, kind of give her like a little shout out. So she will probably make a video on this very topic. It will probably be better and more informed than my video because she has actually driven for Instacart. I have not. So we need to make that clear up front. I am basing my information on experience I've had with other shopping companies like DoorDash and Postmates and this news report, but she would probably know a lot more about what's going on. So when she eventually makes her video, I recommend you check it out. In the meantime, ABC News did a story on Instacart recently that should be discussed more in the gig economy community, but it's really not. And that is that Instacart seems to be doing exactly what Postmates and DoorDash is doing, and that is stealing tips. Now, they probably have a different word for it. It might be allocating funds differently. They might even say, well, we're keeping our promise on the guarantee. But well, we'll go ahead and go through this a little bit and you'll see what I mean.
Workers claim Instacart, a grocery delivery service, is using customers' tips to subsidize wages.
This would 100% not surprise me in the least. Now, to understand why I feel this way, even though I haven't driven for Instacart, one of my most popular videos on this channel is DoorDash is stealing your tips. Confirmed. I got an email. I got 2 confirmation emails from DoorDash that what they were doing is they were offering a $5 guarantee per delivery. But if you got a tip on the app, some of the tip money would go towards that guarantee and DoorDash would only be paying you a smaller percentage. So for example, if you did a DoorDash delivery and got tipped nothing, you would make $5. But let's say you did a DoorDash delivery and you got a $7 tip. Now, normally you would think you'd get $13. Not so. You'd actually get $9 because 4 of those dollars would go to DoorDash as they say, well, you've made the minimum requirement that we guaranteed, so we're going to keep the tips. And in my opinion, that is stealing from the drivers. They feel differently about it. Unfortunately, it's a situation that hasn't gotten a lot better, and as we're about to see, it gets worse even with other companies like Instacart.
Well, Instacart has shoppers who basically walk into a store like QFC. Those shoppers look at all the items in your cart on that app. They pick out your produce, pick out other items, they check out, drive it to your house. Now those shoppers tell me they believe Instacart is misusing tips intended for them. And a local workers' rights group is looking into the legality of it all.
Well, I will give them this. They are able to explain the situation in a much faster time frame than I could. This is probably why I'm not on news. Also the fact that, I look like this and, well, she's pretty. What can I say?
We followed Instacart shopper Ashley Knutson as she shopped for a customer's order in Tacoma.
We're going to go down to produce.
She says the problem is she's getting paid less for the work.
The decrease in our wages at least 30%, it's just not fair.
No, it's not fair, but people will say, well, that's business. Businesses aren't fair. But, we've talked about that many, many times before. I mean, some people will side with the companies like, well, it's business. If you don't like it, get another job. And then others will be like, well, I know it's business, but you shouldn't pull this bait and switch. And it is a bait and switch, as we're about to find out.
Several workers tell me it started a couple of months ago when Instacart changed its system of how they pay shoppers who are contract employees.
We can see how they're using the customers' tips to pay us less.
She says Instacart is supposed to pay shoppers at least $10 for each shopping trip and showed us these screenshots from a recent job. She earned about $12.50, but about $7.50 of that came from a customer's tip.
Because this customer decided to tip $7.46, their Instacart is going to pay us $5.02 for that order.
Now, some of you might be asking, well, what's wrong with that? I mean, why does that you getting a tip mean that they're paying you less? Well, here's the thing. I believe Instacart guarantees you about $10 per delivery. And that's fair. I actually think $10 is a good amount of money you should be making for a delivery. I mean, most deliveries will take 30 minutes or so. So, you know, $10 is fine. And then there's time. So, you know, $10 plus a tip. But because she got tipped so much money, they just put the tip towards the guaranteed earnings and they were essentially stealing it. This is not uncommon to what DoorDash does. So I believe this is legitimate.
Working Washington, a workers' rights group, shared an even more egregious example on its website. It shows without this $10 customer tip, an employee earned only 80 cents for more than an hour of work.
And yeah, that is absolute baloney. I mean, and this is what bothers me. It's like when some people say, oh, well, they're just in business, that's the cost of it. It's like, you know what? No. Why is Instacart only paying 80 cents for an hour's work? I mean, granted, I know in America there are some states with restaurant laws that say, hey, the tips can go towards your wage. So the restaurant, for example, has to pay you minimum wage, but if you get tips, then they can pay you less than minimum wage. I think that's wrong. I think the minimum wage should be the minimum wage and tips should be on top of that. And by the way, I live in California where that is not the case, that this minimum wage and the tips are separate. So this is especially a little bit of a culture shock for people who are used to getting tips on top of whatever they earn here.
The expectation when you're tipping somebody is that that worker is getting the tip, not the company.
This customer of Ashley's today said he had no idea.
Oh, and why would he have an idea? I mean, the funny thing about all these apps is they actually tell, they word it in a certain way where it's like, do you want to leave a tip for the driver? And they go, oh yeah, we would like to leave a tip for the driver. And they put the tip on and they think the driver's going to get it because it's been worded in such a way that suggests that they will be getting it. And that might be something that these law firms might have to actually start looking at. Like, can they actually word it in a way like, hey, you're going to give this driver to the tip and then it goes to the company. Now, the company might argue, well, we are giving them the tip. We're just not giving them all of the base fee because they made that tip. See, this is where it gets so complicated. And it's like, this is why you need like a really good lawyer to look through this, look through the law and find out, can you do that?
Working Washington says because they are contract employees, the legality is unclear.
That is a little hazy. We're looking into it. I think probably a lot of people are probably looking into it. I think because it's pretty galling. It certainly seems like something that you see it and you're like, that should be illegal.
Well, at least someone's looking into it. And yeah, at least people agree that that should be illegal. Is it going to be illegal anytime soon? Probably not, but we can hope, right?
The problem has Instacart shoppers
frustrated.
They're banding together, encouraging customers to send a message to Instacart by tipping just 22 cents, a number you can add to after that transaction to make sure the shopper gets the tip.
Now, I have to give them credit. That is a very, very clever campaign, like tip 22 cents and then change it later. Here's the problem. First of all, it's really hard to get the message out to people that that's what's going on, that, hey, you need to tip 22 cents to trick the system, and then you can give us a real tip and we will get it. That is a lot to convey for a campaign. Most people don't have that kind of patience. The other thing is that I think if that campaign caught wind, Instacart, like if it actually became like a big thing and Instagram's algorithm figured out what people were doing, they would alter the system to accommodate that. Like if they said, oh, someone gave you a tip later on, well, now we're going to decrease the pay a little bit. Like, I think that's just what they would do. I don't see these companies being fooled by something like that. A much better campaign would be to let people know that digital tips don't go to the drivers. Please tip cash. But then the extra problem with that is that not a lot of people have cash, and tipping on the app is easy and convenient. So unless you can actually convince them to like give an additional $5 or $10 on top of the tip they were going to give you, it's going to be an uphill battle to get this message across. But hey, I'm going to do what I can to help you. That's why I'm making this video.
An Instacart spokesperson I reached by phone denied that they are mishandling employees' tips. When I asked about some of those complaints addressed in this story, she told me she would send an email statement, but I am still waiting for that email.
Yeah, you're going to be waiting for a while. I don't think they're going to be getting back to you anytime soon. So anyway, that's a frustrating story to see. Now, normally I read articles about this and, you know, I put my face in like the corner or something and, you know, it kind of works out. No one's complained about the format yet. But here's the problem. the fact that only a local news station, this is a local station, this isn't even nationwide, this is local, and they're talking about it, but the fact that no one nationwide is talking about it, it presents a very big problem for the drivers, for the shoppers, because it shows that the rights of the drivers and how they get screwed is not being publicly scrutinized. If this was on CNN or Fox News, or if the New York Times was writing about it, then they might have a fighting chance. But on a local station, they're not going to get anywhere. And that's just nothing's going to change. I mean, people like me can make these videos, and so yeah, I'll make this video. I will comment on this story, and I will get the word out as best as I can. But this video, if we're lucky, might get 5,000 views, maybe 10. But because I'm YouTube, I'm small time. So if you really want to get this situation out there, I mean, first of all, you can share this video, but you could also make your own video telling people what's going on. Share this one, make your own, create a hashtag, maybe hashtag tip 22 cents on Instacart, something like that. But you're going to have to do the work to get it out there. I mean, again, but on the positive side, the fact that a local station is talking about it means that at least someone cares and it's caught someone's eye. But until it goes national, whether through viral video hits or the mainstream media talking about it, and if this is you, I would recommend reaching out to the mainstream media saying, hey, this is happening to me. I have a story I'd like to share. Write to everyone that you know and see what happens. But unfortunately, until that happens, it's going to be an uphill battle to get Instagram to not steal your tips, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, what do you folks think? Do you agree with this? Has this happened to you? I would love to know. I'm sorry if it has, by the way, in advance, by commenting below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos or her videos, consider becoming a Patreon member and subscribing to her channel as well, The Blessed Driver. You know, free shout out. She makes great videos. And by the way, when you contribute to my Patreon account, you do get access to my exclusive blog, and even though it's totally optional, even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.